morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you today. And I'd like to start off by introducing myself as Mark Asbell and dispel a rumor that some of my colleagues have said about me. They continually call me Hark Hark the Lark from Noah's Ark. That's not accurate. I wasn't on the Ark. However, I do go back in time quite a while. And I want you to travel with me today as we go back in time to disaster 843 South Carolina, Hurricane Hugo, where I became a local hire with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, having never heard of it before. And we're going to end with the Hurricane Florence disaster in Raleigh, North Carolina. So before I start, I'd just like to lay a little foundation of the first JFO where I was employed in Charleston. And we processed everything internally under one roof from cradle to grave. Everything was done on paper. The individual assistance helpline, DRC's processing of application, everything that involved that was under that one JFO roof. As far as finances go, we had a certifying official in charge of issuing imprest because we didn't have credit cards. People actually lined up in front of the imprest officer, and she provided, it was a she at the time, she provided handouts of cash to people so they would have money for eating and so forth. GSA had a blanket contract where they issued cars, so we were all assigned cars and we had to team up with people. I was a local hire, I drove my own vehicle for that. The document control section was very interesting, and it was large and it grew every day because initially they were projecting 30,000 registrations for FEMA, and it grew to 97,000. So you can imagine a large room filled with file cabinets and 93,000 registrations in those files and how they managed to track everything. We also had direct housing back then, so our direct housing mission was under our same roof, and they handled all their processing. They did the inspections, the licensing, everything under one roof, and they were all done by FEMA people. We had community outreach at the time, which was our old community relations section. Now it's transitioned and morphed into the DSA, Disaster Survival Assistance Teams. So we had volunteer services, of course, and that was basically one person who was in charge of Red Cross donations coming in, and if we had people we needed to refer out. So we would manage everything through that one contact. We had external affairs, of course, because they were dealing with the media, congressional inquiries. We had a senator in South Carolina, Fritz Hollins, and he came across very upset because FEMA didn't put a DRC in a downtown area in Charleston. So he came up with the slogan, FEMA's nothing but a bunch of damn jackasses. And our shirt for that disaster was our logo with that, FEMA ain't no damn jackasses. So proudly have that shirt today. I wish I'd have brought it with me. So the objective in this presentation is to identify our technical advancements and achievements over the years, improvements over the decades, I should say, and with your help, we will provide how we have added value to our critical FEMA mission, current FEMA mission. So a little activity I'd like to get your help with, and I'd like to begin with the table 1, is we're going to read a bullet and provide a brief explanation on how and why you believe that this resource adds value today. Jacob, would you help us and start with the first one, and then we'll go around the room.
Yes, personal computers, emails, fax, answering machines. What value for me personally today, when I started in the NIPSI, we used the aux code, we had the phone that was connected to the thing, and now they switch over to the C3MP system where it's all based on your computer. You can actually do the phone calls with the applicants from the field instead of having to be in their office and just plug in your headphone and go. And I think that's very useful because we have the hotspots with our phones where we can actually be more in areas that don't have the phone lines and stuff to be able to actually help us survive.
Thank you. Very good point. Marlene?
For cell phones, enhanced big telecommunications, GPS devices, in a disaster, it's likely that you'll be able to, more likely that you'll be able to use your cell phone than any other communication. Mainly sometimes for text. Other types of telecommunication devices like dispatch,
Sat phones.
What was that?
Walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies?
Walkie-talkies.
Sat
and,
Satellite phones.
Satellite phones.
Yeah, there you go.
and
Thank you.
so on, and GPS devices would be helpful to locate survivors or locate areas of.
Absolutely. How many times have you been deployed to an area you didn't know where you were going? Needed GPS. Thank you very much. And you?
Personal credit cards, rental cars, points, rewards. I think the credit cards allow, and the rental cars allow us to be able, it gives us some autonomy to do every job and be able to have a place to stay and provide everything that we need on a deployment. And I think the points and rewards are a nice little incentive for leaving your families.
Absolutely.
And being, it's just a little added for the extra stress that's put on you to do, for doing your job.
I agree
It's
with that.
a little reward, because you're not being compensated for the 24 hours you're away from your family every day.
That's true. Good point. Would you continue for us?
Sure. DHS, NPS, I'm guessing.
NIPSI, NPS?
ICS, FQS, PSS, HN, EPA, NFIP, FEMA Corps, and the FAPA.
You don't have to,
Acronyms?
everyone, just, you could pick one if you wanted to.
Oh,
And just tell us how that adds value to your position today.
Sure.
You worked with FEMA Corps?
No, I did AmeriCorps, but I'm familiar with FEMA Corps. I know I trained FEMA Corps who
There you
come back
go.
on board. So yeah, I find with all of those agencies, it's nice to have a network of people who are all helping people before they after disasters. I like the network.
Thank you, very good. And would you take the next
Yeah,
one? that
I'll
you-
read yours.
Okay.
Non-smoking areas were non-existent, no smoke breaks allowed, as smoking at workstations was common practice.
Oh, yeah, so I enjoy my lungs and so I'm happy about that.
Okay, same here, thank you.
Social media and Wi-Fi. Social media can get you in trouble.
How's it add value to your position now?
Because we can see, like for the Puerto Rico disaster, we knew it came out in Spanish and in English, and we knew what the people were saying on Facebook.
So it
Twitter or
helps you
something.
troubleshoot some of the.
Troubleshoot with Wi-Fi, I don't, that's not it.
Good point. Thank you very much. Joe?
DTS, FQS, FEMA.gov, Concur, and National Travel.
Hey, concur.
So,
Paper.
so Concur, when you're familiar with the system, you can do all of your travel and all your vouchers and authorizations kind of alone and unafraid, regardless of where you're at. You don't need to take papers with you. And if you have problems with Concur, you can always call National Travel or Concur people. So it streamlines the whole process in the routing system where in this paperless society that we have, where you don't have to route everything from one office to the next and track it down
Yes,
office to
that's
office.
good point. Becca?
Formal training.
Yeah, that's right up your alley.
I mean, it gives me something to do every day. But I think that it also, because we have set curriculum, it kind of sets that standard of this is the expectation of knowledge that we want you to have in order to go out and do your job.
Perfect, thank you. Last but not least,
Yeah, mission statement. I see the mission statement is where everyone can have a common point where you're headed towards. So the value system, the mission statement, here's what we're here for, and brings us together.
I love that, perfect, thank you very much. Now, this is a picture, I don't know if you can recognize me in this. I'm hoping I did something today to help you if you can. These were ladies all selected after Hurricane Katrina during Women's History Month and nominated as phenomenal women. I was selected as phenomenal women in FEMA by my peers, and we were all presented with beautiful proclamations and appreciation from the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana. And I just threw that in there because that was a halfway point through my career. Now, that thing kept bothering me all night long, so excuse me while that software changes kept coming up. And I'd like to, if I can figure out how to start this video. Behind the scenes, what we don't see every day is our FCO Albie Lewis and our administrator, Bob Long, visiting our JFO. It was very impromptu, but they took advantage of the time to acknowledge 2 of our staff in IHP for being thanked by a couple of survivors. And this means more than anything as a group supervisor to see the staff being not only acknowledged and thanked by the supervisors, by the supervisors, as well as acknowledged by the survivors. And you'll hear in the end where Rock says it's all about helping people. It's such an honor to work with leadership like this. And I want people to know this is what goes on behind the scenes. Thank you, Rock Long. Your leadership will be missed. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to move it quickly ahead. And this was just a quick picture that was captured with myself and the administrator of the FCO, a highlight. And my personal favorite quote by Mother Teresa, we can do no great things, only small things with great joy. And it has been a great joy to be in here with you this whole week. Thank you very much. Any questions? Come on, y'all got some questions.